After we have our recording going, cameras going over there, see the red light. Call the order, the town of Swanton Selectboard meeting. It is Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. It is 6 p.m. and it is election day for some folks, but in Swanton, no. Everyone would please join me for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're gonna do agenda review. I think there's no.
I don't really have an update for your QR code things for the truck, but I do have one quote and waiting for another, if you want to put that on, if not, that's the other.
Under what area?
Is that?
One.
Okay.
Yeah, you can bring it up then if you like. Okay. I think.
I'm good, thank you.
I got just a couple things under highway department. I want to discuss a possible sale of an old heater. And. Don't we have it already in their next one. I'm good. Pete, Brian.
I just briefly, if you need to go into executive session, it would be very good. For directive, something that should be relative to personnel.
Okay. Actually, under. Well. Any unnecessary business, local option tax, I just did a little briefing, so people can take a look at it, so we're all kind of on the same page, in prep for the meeting next week. Can you state whether it's legal or personnel or is it personnel? Okay. All right. Start with the minutes. I'll entertain a motion to approve the regular select board meeting of October 7th, 2025.
Second.
Let me ask the question, or is that correct date? It's not. That meeting was the second meeting in October, right?
October 23rd.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the October 21st meeting. Any motion?
I'll make the motion.
Here's a second.
Second.
Motion been made second to approve the minutes of 21 October 2025. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Okay, public comments, and that's for any items that are not on the agenda for tonight. Anybody? Anybody on board or just, no, just us, right? Okay. We're gonna move right along, law enforcement, Keith. David.
So I didn't make copies this time, right, because we got it to you guys yesterday, so. There was a clerical error, in the arrest charges. There were 10 charges representing 4 individuals. Related to one of the incidents, or several charges there, and I apologize because I see it was not attached to, the summary was not attached to the packet that was sent ahead of the meeting. Looking at the incidents, there were 100 incidents in total in the town. 32 traffic stops, the top 10 incident types, 32 traffic stops, 23 direct patrols, 6 more vehicles, 6 suspicious, 4 agency assists, 4 citizen assists, 3 crash, 2 juvenile problems. And I can't really make out the other 2, but there were 2 incident types also, because of the way they're printed there. Out of those 32 traffic stops, 15 tickets were issued and 28 warnings. All the tickets and warnings were associated with traffic. And 2 of the arrests out of those 4 individuals that were arrested were associated with traffic stops. No, I reached out previously to Town Administrator Savage about possibly placing no parking signs down at the train museum. parking lot after a certain hour. We've noticed a uptick in activity there, and it would be great if we had something like that available to us to address people who are loitering in that parking lot.
Absolutely.
I didn't believe they were ordered. Okay, there'd be no parking lots to go.
Okay, which is perfect. There were 14 additional service hours, and in addition to that, I had the I guess somewhat fortunate experience to go back through and get trained last week as a youth course instructor again. I think I was originally trained in 2002. It's just been difficult to train the agency. There are 4 mandatory hours required per year in use of force training that officers have to remain. It's some of our mandatory training according to Rule 20 now. And it's been difficult. We've been using Burlington Police Department since I've been up here, so there's a lack of instructors in part of the state. So that will be an advantage, but it was a long 40 hours last week. Throwing each other around, so I'm in the source. But so that's also an advantage for the town and the village. In-house use force instructor again.
Questions? I had we got a second resource officer now, is that what I saw?
We do,
Excellent.
yes, so
That give you some relief and trying to manage other shifts and things?
no, not really. So I mean, he kind of mirrors the other school resource officer, so it will in the summertime. So when school is out, he will be on the road just like another officer, so we will get someone with that. But he is assigned to the elementary schools for the whole school district, so he bounces in between each elementary school.
Yep.
And deals with and there are, enough problems where he's been kept fairly busy. I think he was a little surprised by how many issues he's had to deal with already. But it's great to have a school resource officer again in the schools, building those relationships with kids. We've received a lot of positive feedback so far in the district. With that new position in the elementary schools.
Do incidents involving the resource officer make this report? Or
We should, yes, other than, I mean, some of the other, I guess if there were incidents outside of Swanton town, because again, it's pulling the data by the town itself. May not be in that report. But it should, I would think, for the elementary school. I mean, I guess the elementary school is technically in the village, so I don't know if it is part of the data or not.
One thing I noticed, Chief, when reading that report, thank you for getting it out early, spend a little more time on it. Your officers seem to they're all over the place this time. Where you were patrolling and stopping cars for speeding, traffic violations, you name it. And I'm not sure I've seen that kind of coverage before. Seems like you were all over the place, which is good, really good.
Yeah, I think one of the additional force multipliers, if you will, we were able to hire recently a part-time officer who was full-time with Vermont State Police for a period of time, and then he's moved on to Department of Liquor and Lottery full-time, but he's been working part-time, and he's also been picking up some of the governor's highway safety details. In fact, we did one today, and he was out in the town and performed multiple traffic stops, during that detail. So that's also added to the traffic enforcement.
Yeah, almost like every road in the town, something was going on with the police, so.
Yeah.
Good.
Are most of the traffic stops for speeding and then you get the other stuff about the registration and so on? I would think it's very hard for you folks these days without the little stickers and things to.
Yeah, you're not necessarily gonna know unless you preemptively see the plate and you run it through dispatch.
Right.
And then dispatch is gonna get back to you and say, oh, it's not registered. If you ran it before you actually stopped the vehicle, but you're correct, without the stickers anymore. It used to be you could come up behind the vehicle and then see if there was, if it didn't have the sticker with the appropriate registration date. that would give you a reason to stop the vehicle, essentially. I mean, you would want to eventually obviously confirm that through dispatch, because sometimes people just want to put the stickers on their plates, but. Regardless, it gave you reasonable suspicion to stop a car where now we don't have.
That, and I see all these 8.5 by 11s up here, down there, worn out, can't read them and. Temporary registrations and stuff.
So temporary regs, we are able to run now through DMV where we weren't previously able to do that, so that's also a big advantage for us.
Good.
And it's still, and the state, my understanding is changing it, I wanna say maybe in January. I read a bulletin recently where. For people that get the temp registration, I believe what they're gonna do is they're gonna require that you pay the tax due. At that time, so it's no longer gonna be a $5, here's your temp registration.
Oh, okay.
That you can extend at least once. So people would, have those registrations, the ones that were valid. Where sometimes you see, they're supposed to be printed off the computer from the DMV website. Where sometimes people are handwriting them, there's all sorts of shenanigans going on with those temp registrations.
Alright.
So that is changing as of January is my understanding.
Any other questions for the chief?
No one here for 85 miles. Where do you understood to arrested for violation or something else? That was
Well, the arrest is probably for excessive speed.
you can arrest
Well,
somebody.
yes, you can. When you're that far over the speed limit. Yeah, I believe over 40 miles per hour over one,
So, all right, I didn't know that.
yeah. As well as receiving tickets.
Nick?
Not good.
Pete?
I have a couple of questions, just out of curiosity, it seemed to be pretty, well, the weather cooperated, I guess, but we went through another Halloween season, everything was quiet in the village for.
Yeah, I don't
Or
recall, I mean, I was present because I was still making my way back from the police academy in Pittsburgh. But yeah, we had our school resource officer at the high school stayed and worked late that night. And so did Officer Gilbert. Just add additional resources, but there was nothing noteworthy.
That's good.
It is my understanding.
Guess that's kind of gone out of that.
The old cabbage night, the night before, it used to be
well,
terrible.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about here, but here where I grew up, it was terrible.
Well, up there it's really bad, but down here it's still pretty good, so, okay.
Yeah, I've heard stories, so
Yeah.
I prefer to keep it the way it's been.
Oh, yeah, I think most of us are that way too.
And the other thing with the reports coming out, that we understand that, our first meeting of the month may fall early.
Mhm.
The second or the fourth, and Bill and I spoke briefly this morning, and before the meeting started, we were talking informally here at the board. I think it's a good thing to get them electronically, it's fine, but if would it work in your schedule instead of coming in the first meeting of the month, you came to our second meeting of the month, so then we know that the report would be for the full month.
I could, it's really up to the,
Yeah, so
up to the select board. I'm flexible certainly.
What's easiest for you, chief?
My schedule. It really doesn't matter, it was that way, so now the village has actually moved me to their second meeting where I was. Also attending their first meeting, so it was back to back, but now it's spread out usually the beginning of the month for the select board and then for the trustees at the very end of the month. So really, whatever works for you. I mean, my admin assistant, it is tight, like sometimes, that first of the month is basically when the meeting is, so. We struggle to get that report out early. And she's been doing the reports recently over the last several months. So that would be fine if you wanted to move my appearance to the second meeting.
Whatever works, for you, whatever's easiest.
Yeah, it sounds to me like people like the reports ahead of time, so.
Yeah, yeah.
That works and it doesn't, and it works for you to go to the second meeting of the month, because to me that's fine.
So, yeah. You could start.
Okay.
We all sounds in agreement with that, sounds good?
Yeah.
All right.
Very good, thank you, chief.
All right.
That's what you guys do.
Thank you.
Highway department, one thing I added is, Kevin approached me. Wants to buy. I think it's a Resner heater. gas operated heater that, two of them came out of the old garage. This is now about 12 years, that were just sitting up in the new garage. The new garage itself has a couple nice heaters similar that are used just to make up heat if they leave the doors open a lot, because they have the heat that's in the slab. So even the heaters they have don't get used very much. He wanted to purchase one. Said I'd check with the board, see if they want to sell it or not. I don't have any interest in keeping those things, even if we have a heater failure at the age those are. I would advocate buying a new heater versus the used heater. It was just something they did when they tore down the old garage and moved them up there, and he said he'd offer us $200.
For both of them or one of them?
Just for one heater, and you know, that thing could be hooked up and it may not even run, so. I don't know if the board interested or not, but what they do for us, or what he does for us, I don't have any problem.
Well, we don't use them then.
No, these things, they're just sitting on the, one's up on the mezzanine, just on the mezzanine, one's down by the wash rack.
Well, I don't have a problem with it, but he's gonna take both of them. Because if we're not using them, they're just taking up space.
Yeah, they're just taking up space, and like I said, if we have a failure, I would advocate purchasing a new heater.
Well,
Not something that's already 15, 16 years old, and,
but they've already got heaters there anyway.
oh yes, and they're all hooked up, and they don't run much because we don't keep the doors open very long, but there were some that were installed.
Well, I would make a motion that we accept the $200 offer, but it has to take both of them, and he can do what he wants with the second one.
Okay.
I mean, are they worth that much or are they basically just junk?
Oh, there's probably some value in them.
It's pretty fairly, so.
Yeah.
If they don't work, I imagine you'll just do whatever with them.
Well,
Well, if one doesn't work, we may get sparked.
Parts out of the other, you get parts out of the other one, you can
They up to 200 for the pair.
Okay, all right.
Or do you want 200 apiece?
No, I only want 200 and he gets
That's what I
both.
meant, yeah, 200 for the
Flat
pair.
200.
Yeah, he's out, yeah.
Because the other one's probably gonna sit there for another 10 years.
Yeah. Probably will. Motion's been made, do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion been made, seconded, tell Kevin we can have both heaters for $200. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Old Town Business, Ronald Kilburn Railroad Museum update.
Okay, I did meet with Patrick a couple of weeks ago. He gave us a quote, and it was like $750, $100,000. And he can start, as far as you know, he should be down there on the 19th. And about 2 or 3 hours worth of work to button things up for the winter. The application for the grant is in process. They wanted some more pictures. Christina went down. She had to get a ladder with Kevin to go up and take close-up pictures, but she did that with Kevin yesterday. Sent them down this morning. They wrote back that the pictures were excellent and the application is being processed. So that's what that's.
Is the work they're gonna do down there, they're not gonna take down that thing that for the decoration?
Yes, they are.
No, they are, that's
One
one
going in the back.
yeah, the one on the back side, yeah, okay, all right.
That and some caulking and
Talking.
Yeah.
Picking it up.
okay. Memorial Valley Rail Trail. In a couple that way. More go that way. So the update right now is about the only thing left to do is to finish the roof. I was told roofing materials were gonna be in last week. What happened is. When the roofing materials arrived a couple of weeks ago, what the inventory and the bill sheet, Bill Layden said did not match what arrived on site, so they couldn't finish. putting the metal on. I was told the metal was gonna be here last Thursday. And an update yesterday that it's gonna be here this week. Very frustrated with how long it's taken to close the roof up, but that is essentially the last item that needs to be done. Couple notes I put down here, we really don't need to spend much time on it tonight, 'cause I think. We can have a discussion with the rec department when they come talk to us next week, not the budget issue of tonight, but when they come next week. But who maintains, I think we need to have that discussion, I mentioned it before. I think the rec department should take care of the day-to-day operations, highway can do the snow removal, and I think in the town administrator office, we need to probably do the cameras. Is get it so you can get on the computer and monitor the cameras. Budget, we gotta think about a budget for next year, water and electricity, I'm estimating right now about 700 per year, I don't think it would be any more than that. Shut water off mid-November to mid-April. Portalet. I inflated the number just a little bit, because we don't know for sure, but I included 7 months at 175 per month, and that pumps it out weekly. And then we ought to throw in some maintenance number, 1,500 should be high for 2026, but I just threw that number out there, so approximately. $3,425 should be added to the rec budget, and maybe the utilities come directly out of the general budget, that's something to work out budget time. Few things to think about. First one actually is an action item, we should talk with our insurance folks.
The timing is perfect because, yeah, I'm working on the insurance renewal, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to put that as part of our portfolio, so we're aware of it and. How to market, I know you guys already worked on that as part of promote Swanton, but you know, Swanton, the LBRT begins here, which it essentially does, because we're at the early mile marker, St. John Jerry's at the other end. We have a little bit of space on the back of the kiosk where we can do a better job of advertising our local businesses than what the state did on the front side. Doesn't list the business by name, but we could put restaurants, you know, and phone numbers down, things like that.
We've already had a discussion, we're looking at some. To put something on there, you know, where that's gonna connect to our QR code and all
Right to
that.
the business directory with Promote Swanton, it's something that we were gonna update on Promote Swanton a little bit more.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
So
because
we
it's
want
one
to
to look at it,
yeah, and if we need to, you know, pay for something to be done, so it's gonna last, and then we should do it. You know, for the rec department, any special events to help promote the thing, you know, some kids bike events or something go up so far, who knows what the possibilities are. You know, or just some event about biking and bike safety and so on. Transportation to other Swanton venues, or, you know, in the next few years, if things pick up, then do we look at some possible transportation things, and then. I just threw the ribbon cutting down there next spring, I am good either way, but just some things for us to think about regarding our new facility that we have as part of Swanton.
Just one thing to throw out, and I don't know if the rec department would take this or somebody would. We have mile markers, and do we have mile markers up there?
On the trail itself, there is mile markers.
I know some districts that I think they sold ads, each mile marker, provided by such and such a business. And the business paid, have the name put out there. I can't sure whether it's confidential, but this did take place. So we might want to give that some thought. I don't know how many mile markers we have in our district, maybe 10, maybe, I don't know what.
I think if it's on the trail itself, I think it depends upon the agency of transportation's management plan for the LBRT.
All right, well, that makes
But
sense.
there may be something for us to continue on with the fit and healthy path to continue to get people into town. That would show a little extra to the trail, that might be a possibility of
So,
fundraising.
signage, you know, brought to you by, you know, XYZ company or whatever.
Yeah, I think we could do that on our path,
Yeah.
I think the state's gonna be very restrictive on.
I think it was
That's
state
good.
that sold that. Commanded this thing that I'm familiar with, was the state. But
Yeah,
we can pick.
We can check with Jackie Casinos, the head of
Yeah.
the trail piece, and we can check with her. I don't know if there's any other questions or thoughts, but that's.
Good.
Go right on that. Okay. School district landfall, okay.
Annexation, with Durrell, recently was this morning. He has a meeting with his attorney. I explained to him again what problem there is. And I know we had that property listed for sale, so I said, this problem will never go away. Discharge warning, this is what they need to do. I said, it's for your attorney to handle. He had a meeting this afternoon scheduled with his attorney at 4:15 to discuss. So I'll find out from him tomorrow where we stand with that. And I said, the other thing is if you look through your files and you can find the mortgage discharge that they may have given you, bring it down and we'll record it. That'll take care of it. Right? So I didn't know we could. I mean, look. So that's where we stand with that.
Elevator update.
You've got a memo in your packet. And it's just basically the last communication I had is from October 23rd, and this was when they replied back that they feel the amount of water that's coming in there so much that they need to develop a full elevator pump system designed specifically for that situation. So I'm gonna get an applicant again, but and that was just a week ago, but to find out where they're standing with that. Since the pumps, there needs to be a different setup, because there's so much water going.
Yeah, this is, go ahead. This is kind of confusing, this email I'm trying to explain it. So he said they changed it with 2 pumps to match the existing, then he talks about coming up with a. Fancier elevator pump system, don't know what that is, but. Then you can get us a quote quickly, but then do not think it's a long-term solution, so
Right.
what? I think.
Well, the quote quickly for doing the pipe work, that's not the long-term solution.
And then wasn't they supposed to do some base work too that needed stone?
Well, that's part of this. pump
Part of this
solution.
pipe, yeah.
Not the pipes, the whole.
Yeah.
The pumps, the elevator pumps, the permanent solution.
Are these pumps relatively new, Brian?
Well, the pumps we replaced, yes, they were.
Do they have a trade-in value if we have to go with a.
No, they're all burnt up.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
Well, they were.
They had to replace them.
So that's the latest on that. Everybody with that style elevator, the hydraulic elevator, I've done a little research and the guts of the system are down in the ground, but instead of up on the roof. And they're problem wherever they have a problem.
So it's part of our solution to move it up.
Well, because of the roof line, it's.
That would be this. We'd be better off to just replace pumps every so often than to put all the mechanical and everything you're talking.
They're huge.
My question would be, how quick can they get us a proposal to do something that they consider to be
Well,
a better solution?
My next question, but I told them to do it is get it done to it as soon as possible.
But they haven't brought no proposal.
Not yet, no, that was back on the 23rd, so that's a week and a half, so if he needs to, I'll contact him again and say, right, where do we stand?
Unless the board wants to go and bring another party in to take a look at it.
I think maybe we give them one more, till the next meeting,
Yeah.
then you, I just soon
Second
start
opinion,
looking
I
for
can-
someone, little more, responsive.
Yeah. Yeah, if we don't have a proposal by next meeting, we'll probably have to, we're gonna have to get somebody else to look at it.
Okay, the former town garage property all that.
I had a conversation with Christie Cruiser this morning. And she said, well, I'll move it to the top of the list. So I got this afternoon. Now, I gotta get hold of Eric, the engineer, to just interpret what all that means, but, they're pretty good with everything that's in the report. So, I don't know, an ECAA exemption, please demonstrate that this site meets the requirement for exemptions per section 35,604 B in the investigation remediation. Then an editorial note, the orange and the red text are very similar in hue and difficult to differentiate. And it's been a revised development plan. She's asked that before, and we sent her the plans, so.
Tell her it's in the file.
It's coordinating the redevelopment plan and corrective action plan, by the way, which we would sure do anyways, coordinate the redevelopment plan and the corrective action plan to make sure they're in sync. So I know that needs, she's not saying get anything more tested, we should just tell the engineer, okay, get us a summary of what we gotta do and.
Yeah, there was a couple specific
Yeah.
things about cleaning up that pipe,
That
that one
pipe,
drain
yeah.
area.
Yeah.
And we talked about moving ahead with that.
Mhm.
While we had some other things that needed to be done, so we could figure out.
Yeah.
And get the state to approve the actual plan that needs to be done for the way we wanna redevelop it. Which looking, and I haven't gone out with Kevin yet, we're gonna go out and take some elevations. I think we're gonna be able to put 18 inches of material on there and still make it very usable versus. Removing a whole bunch of material and hauling it away.
That'd be,
That would be much better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but. It looks like at least we've got something we can go forward with now.
but you haven't come out and said, well, test for this now.
No,
That's good.
of course. Generally concurs, leads themselves, they,
And hope to now.
yeah,
Well, we need to come up with a plan how we're gonna use that property because that's gonna affect, the requirements of the.
right.
So,
Well, we did approve it because of that, right?
Yeah.
The ball field,
Yeah.
and soccer field, and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what Eric would use as part of his,
Yeah.
going back to the state for the corrective action plan. Yes.
Yeah, we sent that to them, but we'll do it again.
Yeah, what I'd like to do is, maybe we get him on a phone call if we did.
That's what I was planning. I had a little problem this afternoon. Basically. For Peter to come and fix it.
Okay, anything else on this, folks? We'll try to have an update from Eric for the next meeting of. Finalizing and stuff.
Yeah.
All right, new town business in Franklin County Field Days, discussing the possible site in the town of Swanton. And.
Hey, look, let me go up there.
Sure.
My name is Fernando, Director of the Franklin County Field Days. And as you know, we've been asked to move from my present location. And we're having a hard time moving because we like the location, but you know. What we're gonna do is possibly have something like a mobile fair. For a couple of years till we can. You know, line up some real estate, but we need like 100 acres, 100 acres is not easy to buy today. So when we're looking at a parcel of land, it's close to sale, but it's on the Highgate Road. It's right down Tractor Supply, it belongs to Mark St. Pierre. He's talking about possibly letting us use that for a couple of years. So we can put on a small, some kind of fair. It won't be like we had before because, you know,
Have all the buildings.
there's a lot of infrastructure.
Right.
So, but that's our plan, if we don't wanna lose it completely. But if we don't have one next year, we didn't have one this year. Then we'll probably never have another one, so we really need to. Put it together. So with your permission, we'd like to have it over there.
I don't see any issue with it.
Why not?
No,
It would still have to go before the DRV and et cetera.
It's just gonna be a 3-day fair. But still would have to be,
I think for purposes of, we talked with the zoning administrator, probably still have to go to DRV, and I'm not sure about Act 250, that's all, but,
really,
well,
we're not building nothing.
you're not building it.
I mean, there's a lot of hurdles there you're talking about.
No, but definitely probably the DRV. But that,
For conditional
the
use.
conditional use, but
Even if it's temporary.
Well, it's temporary, we're not, Mark doesn't want it there permanently, he may even only want it there 1 year. What we'd like to
just leaving it
do,
out there is for options.
if we hire a mobile fair, it would be nice to go to Mark 1 year.
Yeah.
Somebody else another year.
Yeah.
Move around, you know.
This is a question, Mr. Grenier, is that land, it's not conserved, is it?
Say
No,
again,
My land isn't conserved.
no,
Good, good.
I mean, I'm curious what conditional use we're even thinking it would have to go under. I see this more as a public event, which we're talking about our new public safety reg, which we haven't done yet, but.
Right.
I see it being more monitored under that if we're not building buildings and so on.
Right.
but we hired a sheriff's
Would be
department,
recreational or
you know, they take care of that.
Well, I think,
permitted, that doesn't even mean.
I think what we can do is we'll talk to Amy, the zoning administrator, on Thursday. Tell her what's transpired, and then I can get in contact with you and see what
Number,
Yeah, that would be good,
2, 3,
sooner the better than, they're trying to make it happen.
491.
That land actually is right behind where I live.
yeah,
It is, the one concern I would have is the traffic going very high on the road,
the one,
the traffic,
oh yeah,
so that.
don't even hire one.
Yeah, that's one thing that's gonna need to be managed, because it's really good, because there's a lot of traffic to Walmart.
Well, when we had it here in Swanton, you know, the traffic is backed up all the way to the interstate.
Yeah.
And one time, somebody told me it was backed all the way up to Grand Avenue.
Yeah.
But it's 3 days a year.
Yeah.
The most.
And you have the sheriff department there with the man, you don't have to be there to manage the traffic, somebody probably has to be.
Yeah,
out
we
there.
hired, you know, Bob Norris takes care of that for us. He hired, last time we had Lamayo County Sheriff. They came down and did a great job. So,
You think it's gonna be a big sound issue, but
say again,
you think it'd be a big sound issue, or,
sound,
yeah, in terms of the houses near
it's gonna be noisy.
there, it's gonna be noisy?
I can't, you know, I think I'll sugarcoat it. You've been to this fair,
it's,
yeah. Yeah, I can hear from my house, I'm 6 miles away. So, but it's just the way it is, it's a fair.
That's.
Champlain Valley, you know, they don't seem to complain too much. Tunbridge is in over there, Caledonia is the same thing, you know. And a lot of fairs are right there in town. Ours is pretty close to town, right here, you know, on the airport road. But, you know, in the old days, they put the fair, you know, close to town, but the towns have been growing. And they've been tumbled the whole fair.
Have you talked to local businesses, yeah, like Tractor Supply or?
No, we haven't.
very early stages.
Very
We're trying to get a feel for if the town of Swanton would be accepting of having a fair in the town.
I think it's, from my view, I think it's fair, we should try to find a way to make it work.
I agree.
I'm
100%.
You can, there's all these little boxes we have to check, and that's a formality and legality, but if everybody is willing to make it work, it'll work, so let's try to find a way.
We're all volunteer, nobody gets paid.
Right,
So, if you ask us to do too many hurdles. They'll something will happen with Salt, you know, Swanton Summer Festival, there were too many hurdles, and it finally closed, you know. It's a volunteer. You know what I'm saying?
no, well, that's, how many acres was roughly?
Up there, they got like 60 acres.
I was gonna say about 16.
60.
60, you know.
Yeah.
Right now, we're using the roughly 60 on the airport.
Yeah.
But we're still fighting with them to try to keep that. So that's not done with yet, you know?
Yeah.
So it was a great location. Have you folks heard of any industrial development moving in there?
No.
Nothing at all.
Yep.
They put water and sewer there, because everybody was moving in there. All of a sudden, nothing, go figure.
Okay.
Sarah Noel with the field days, I just have a follow-up on that, so we are searching for land. We have talked with a couple of landowners that own Swanton land that are selling. Do you feel the town of Swanton would be accepting of if we were able to purchase land in the town of Swanton?
You're a nonprofit, aren't you? Tax exempt.
But that's correct.
We don't pay taxes, no problem at all.
Then you're looking at 100 acres.
Well,
That's like dreaming.
at least 60. Maybe, we can get 100 of the rest. It brings in a lot of economic, you know. People spend money when they go to the fair. All that right here in town, it's too bad it's at the other end of town.
Yeah, there's only 4 days a year.
It used to be on Sunday, when not gonna be no more
Yeah,
Sunday,
no more Sunday.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
I mean, if there was probably more use planned for then.
I was gonna say, the fair itself is just that weekend. The field days is a business, it runs 365 days a year. So there has to be other things that, as we try to hold on and move forward to hopefully bring this type of community event.
If we owned it properly, we could do that, you know, but renting over there, we're limited. That's, you know, like we've already invested a lot of infrastructure buildings, and then they asked us to leave, you know. If you were to put a really nice building up insulated with, you know, use the Four Seasons, we would have lost it, you know, it's.
Well, myself personally, I would listen to what you had for proposal if you ever get to that point. And as far as using that property next year, I mean, I would make a motion that the board would support your efforts as long as you can address all of the issues that needed to be addressed, that we would be supportive of using that property next year anyways.
Okay.
Here's the motion, here's a second.
Second.
Motion was made in second, any further discussion? And my only discussion from my standpoint, I fully support having a fair 2026, let's get one done, and I support whatever we can do to help make it happen. Any other discussion?
So speaking of that, I would like to know, doesn't the town of Swan own some land on Woods Hill Road?
Swanton Village.
Uh,
It's about like 10 acres.
in the town.
Yeah.
And it's.
How many acres?
100.
And it last, I was on the board when it was purchased, I was on the village board when it was purchased, it was for sludge.
Yeah,
spread.
but you guys, they don't do that anymore.
I don't know if they are, really.
I believe they do last I knew.
Yeah, but they didn't need to, see, originally they bought 100 acres because they thought they were gonna have an agreement with the city of St. Albans that the two of them would use it for sludge, that's why they bought so much, but then St. Albans backed out, but. So you can call the village manager and get information from him as to what they're doing with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much, best of luck.
Good luck.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Yep, have a nice evening.
Yeah, you too.
All right, quarterly financial reviews, we are gonna push the library to next meeting, thought recreation. Well, come on up and join us. Oh, both of you, come on up, work friendly. Yeah, I can't force you to come up there, but you're more than welcome.
My only advice. Done.
You sit there. So you. I'm worried.
All right, so page 13. You've had this, the day before Halloween. Questions from board members?
We've got just questions so I can understand the report.
Okay,
First of all, it's good report, got a lot of detail in this. Takes a lot of the network out. I'm assuming this is the period 9 means as of 9:30.
Yes.
Okay, all right. We had a nice big chunk of revenue, $28,340 that came in. What was that from?
Grants, there you can see a
I
subheading.
see it, yeah, but I knew it said grants, but where? What that come from? That's a nice chunk of money.
MBSD.
It's what?
NBSD from the school was a pass-through grant.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, then I had another,
youth program, your summer camp.
No, my two.
Just a second, I'll see, that's the question there.
Let's see. I noticed, I did see that, and this is just maybe a helpful thing, the field sponsorship campaign. The field sponsorship may have been down to plan. Is anybody making any effort to get people to put signs around, or can we do that now?
To put out more signs, like the field signs, is that what you're asking about?
Well, like the businesses put signs around,
So, our budget's down on that line item, that's what your question is?
yeah.
So part of the reason that the budget's down on that line item is that we've been using advertising in the field as a way to barter with some of our local contributors, so like we have a heat pump going in. And we've got some work done at the rec that's done because we're paying for their field sign to go up. So we're bartering that way, so it's costing us a lot less to put up a field sign for $150 as opposed to pay $4 or $5 for, say, heat pump or the work to do the heat pump or something like that. So that's why our number's down. We haven't actively gone out that I'm aware of to ask people if they want to advertise. Usually it's the parents or other sponsors in the area, kids that are playing. They're the ones that are like, oh, I want my kid's jersey to have my name on it.
Just to throw that out, that's been successful in other areas, they get these big boards and XYZ company, just throwing out that Fairfax had in trouble because you could see it from the highway
Yes,
and they got into the billboard problem.
Right.
I don't think we got that problem. Rec salaries were down 45,000.
right.
Is that because we didn't hire the part-time person right away?
Well, so part of it is that we didn't hire the part-time person right away. And part of it is that $25,000 pass-through grant that we had from MBSD. We utilized a lot of those funds to pay wages for our students that worked in the food booth and other things, so that came out of our payroll.
Who prepared this? This is a good job.
I believe that this was actually Jean, right?
Correct, uses a software called Nemrex, which is the municipal software that the town of Swanton uses, and the bookkeeper. And
Like,
everybody,
don't take too much.
the executive director and the bookkeeper work very closely on putting those in first.
Good job.
Now, one thing about the fundraisers, you're way down on what you budgeted. Are you anticipating some coming in toward the end of the year?
For the fundraisers?
Yeah. Yeah, budget 10,000 and your actual was 4,000. Page 14 on the thing I got.
It'd be your second page, page 4.
And your budget.
Page 2 of 4.
Budget status report.
General ledger, it's just page 2.
That's our Corn Fest. We did not receive as much sponsorship for our annual special event Corn Fest as we had anticipated.
Okay, so you don't anticipate making it up at the end of the year.
No.
Fortunately, you got the grant, so you got some money in the other way, so it should stay within your overall budget.
We will absolutely stay within our budget.
Question for me, not really a question, but on salaries, I don't think you're too far off anyway, because we're only 3/4 of the way through the year. You know, if we're at 70% or so, not too far off anyway.
Right, we just had our recent merit come in, so
Good, how's that going?
Great.
so far so good.
Yeah, excellent. The special funds, how are we counting for those now? They're things that are, they're like, I guess I call them restricted, you receive money. For a specific grant, or have you cleaned most of that up, I guess, I'm not quite sure. That was something we discussed
Does
before,
that show up on page 17?
that's what I'm wondering if that, but
Really wish you guys would do something.
page 1 and 2, it says.
You know how many ways one of these I have on for
Says Swanton Recreation General Ledger Balance Sheet Current Year Recreation. Page 1. Cause I guess, I understand that, there's several items here that says like SF food booth, so maybe special fund food booth, I'm
Right,
not
those are all
sure.
special funds.
But what is recreation check-in at 158,000?
That's our regular checking account.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is from the special funds account line item down is in the money market account, which is our special funds account.
Okay, so. what's the regular check-in money versus the money on the pages prior?
On the pages prior, is everything reflected out of the regular checking account? The revenue and the expenditures out of the, like, these pages, the budget status are reflecting. The general checking account, with the exception of the grant revenue.
Yeah, I guess what I have a hard time looking at is. Here's your income, here's your expenses. So you, between what the town gives you and what you get for, you know, registration fees and everything, what is that balance? And then how does that relate to the special fund? What is your total?
That balances the recreational checking account on page 17.
Page 17. Okay, so
That revenue, that
that
line
one
item,
58 is.
correct.
All these other pages, this is your expenditures and your receipts, you have a balance now of 158.
Correct.
And then this, and you add the special funds to that.
And then with the addition of the special funds, our overall total is the 219.
And you can tie that in if you go back. And tie it in.
And so I would think somewhere on page 1 through 4. I would see the 158, 475, and I don't wanna make this more complicated or anything, I'm just. Trying to wrap my head around. That balance there versus, let's say, 144, 342, 65. I don't need that answer tonight. I'm looking at that, but.
Find that number in these previous, you're not gonna find that number, because that's actually, it's like my general fund account I have where we pay all the bills. If that's kind of like their general fund account, so that's where all their grants, unless you have a special grant account, all their money goes into that one checking account, so all the, anything, the income they get on here.
Right.
Goes into that checking account, but you're not gonna see that number, because it's gonna vary. Quite a bit.
Yeah, so I guess in my mind, you bring in money, you start with a balance, you bring in money, you spend money. You have a balance, which to me, I see 144. 342. But when I look over at that other sheet. Which tells me you're sitting on $219,000. Of which certain amount is the special funds, you know, 20 items, whatever is there. And this other balance of 158.
This is based on accounts payable, right?
Right, this is the accounts, this is like their budget, this page 16. That's their salaries and all their
Yeah.
FICA Medi and all that stuff, and then on this page is their account with their balances for their special funds.
That's the
So it's
reconciliation.
like their, yeah, it's like their. You're not gonna see it over here, because this is their budget, this is
No,
what
I
they spent.
understand their budget.
And this is what they've taken in for revenue, so if they go. Sure. So it's not gonna reflect in the expense budget, if that's what you're looking for.
Because there was a beginning balance also, but you know, if you. I had the same question on that. And we have to remember that we had carry forward.
Right,
numbers, I
oh, yeah.
recall, and then we had income coming in, we had expenses. And I think there's a timing issue that I looked at here, but. The 219 is the reconciliation I was harping on before we got it, which is very useful now. From this 219 though, we have to subtract the accounts payable. If at the end of the day, we have to make those payables accounts and that 219 would be less. But some of those, we can only use the 158, 478,
Right,
the rest is restricted or.
right, no, I understand that. Okay. I'm good.
What we're looking at is the new,
figure out why it's so much.
No, just trying to figure out. I understand what this sheet is, somewhere you're sitting on $219,000. So this one, what?
You've spent quite a bit of that already, haven't you? That's.
Well, because we're already in Q4, and we have made.
Right now, then you're, I thought, just a second, you just said you had 158,000 in your checking account.
At the end of Q3, yes.
Yes, okay, that's all I'm talking, in Q3, this document.
Correct.
So at the end of quarter three, you had $219,000.
Right, and a lot of that is because like our rec salaries haven't been expended. And we've had health insurance that we had to budget for that we haven't utilized.
No, I'm not
There's
questioning,
lots of like,
not questioning that at all. Nope, I'm good.
Okay, I just had, I'm glad.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Yeah, one good on that is the new 2011 tractor, the tractor that the paid off. Okay, that's not it from that.
Just normal question. Between now and the end of the year, we're gonna be pretty much on plan for expenses and. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
I think the annualized things, they look like. It's
yeah, we have a couple of these special funds accounts that we're going to bring down to as close to zero as we can. Now that we're in the off season for summer sports, now's the time for us to purchase a lot of those pitching machines and goals and equipment. That it's a little cheaper and we can get these funds back down to zero, whenever we've had overages or things that we didn't spend. We also had a lot of success this year with our programming, our summer programming and a lot of our camps. Nicole and Nick and their whole team have done such a really great job that we've had so many kids wanting to come in. That we actually went above and beyond on a lot of our camps, and registrations and different things were way over 100% for registration.
Last year, you actually kind of overspent your budget. This year, it looks like you're gonna end up at a carryover.
Maybe, yeah.
I see like in special funds, $7,000 just says donations.
Yep,
So that's money you can use to buy stuff or to reduce. I mean, those donations didn't have a specific tag to them, did they?
Some no.
no.
Yeah, so.
Keeping in mind too, that we did have the grant from MVSD, which resulted in $25,000 that we didn't have to spend. That helped us kind of carry through. So, and we had almost $22,000 in exceeded camp admissions. Between field hockey and tennis and other things that we were doing. So that's a good chunk of money that we haven't used, and our health insurance budget was quite high because we had to anticipate for that.
Right, hey, Ben and Jerry's at 1750, was that specific to something?
That was before my time,
So that's what
stuff that we
you spend down or you, anyway, I'm done, Earl.
Okay, take the beat to double that we get though, but when you were saying, well, we're gonna buy equipment now, was that equipment that you planned on purchasing anyways?
It's either equipment that got burnt out during the year, so like our pitching machine scratched out in the middle of the year, and our field hockey program really took off this year, so we need a larger set of field hockey goalie equipment because our goalie equipment is quite small.
Okay, so you would have had a budget for that next year anyways.
Right, and or you'll see that the Little League equipment has a leftover line item in, so we'll spend that down on equipment that was damaged or needs to be replaced now that the Little League season is over. And they're not playing fall ball either, so.
So either you pay now or you pay later. Alright,
I looked at your interest income, nice to see it. What are you getting on money market accounts?
Right now, we started out at 4 and it went down to, I think, we're like 2.5 or 3 on that. Because it's not, they're in our net cash management. So they follow, they sweep when we sweep, like, well, their accounts sweep us.
So I understand that, but so that, at some point, we should know what you've earned. Cause that's a lot of money, I know it goes down fast, but you should try to figure out what your average earning rate would be. And the reason I bring that up, is early in the year, you get a big chunk of money from the towns. You might wanna consider putting this into CDs, I know it's gonna be used, but maybe short-term CDs should be a little higher rated as possible, just make that the income, that's it.
Would you keep it that long?
Yeah, I don't know, that would, we can look into it
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
mean,
I'd love to get more information from you on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's money that might be just sitting on the table, if you get a hold of it, why not?
You give them all the money up front.
No.
No.
That's,
Okay, I thought.
because we don't even collect that, we don't even really
do
start
it-
collecting that
We do
until
it in
August.
installments.
Okay,
Yeah, because we don't collect that money till August,
Right.
right, so we try to give it out.
We give them,
October.
Cause we don't get that money.
I mean, some
So-
people start bringing
some
it
people
back.
start paying taxes, so
Just-
they don't get it in one lump sum.
Just a question.
Yep, no,
All right, anything else for the record? Thank you very much, and talking about all them kids going there this summer and just seeing that those fields and excitement going, and now I see they got
Was
the
it,
ice.
stop showing up yet?
Yes, the ice, I see they already got the rink ready to go, as soon as we get cold weather, the water will be there today.
And then just, we talked about Halloween, we had 15 teens in our space for Halloween. And more coming out every day that we're open as the shortstop teen lounge, which is Tuesdays, Thursdays and Fridays, there's always. Let's say 8 to 12 kids on any given one of those days.
So, thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, moving on to the general account.
You, come on up. Thanks, guys.
Wasn't that bad, was it?
Nah, it's fine.
Have a great evening.
Bye.
Yeah, general,
General, yes, sir,
first question, I have more. Because we got my bond over this year, or is it that we're counting more? We're already over.
we're handling more, and we've had more. Other things going on with it, I mean, that covers all the expenses.
Yeah.
We're on the general, we're doing now.
Yes,
On animal control, but my budget's through November 4th,
That,
just so you know, because. And
Quarter three.
September is the end of the quarter, in October I do a lot of the. Pay the FICA and the MEDI, which shows in October and not in September, so this is more of a true number through today. Cause I wasn't gonna, I just figured I might as well do it, because like we pay the Beamers and it goes for the for the third quarter, but it doesn't get paid until. The 10th month. So this is actually. Your 3 full quarters for like your Beamer, retirement, state withholding, unemployment tax, and that information, cause that's. A true up to 9 months of that expense.
so at 80%. We're looking
Right.
good.
Yeah,
And then the remainder, the,
You have some places that provide, you have some places in there, Kathy, where. Sure, we have $328,000, which is a positive variance. Between now and the end of the year, do you think that there are some cases where we won't be spending?
oh no, we're gonna be spending, it. I'm gonna be paying all my appropriations.
Okay.
That's because I haven't done hardly any of those yet, and we still have,
like, Mrs. Valley, right?
264,000 is gonna go out to. The, no, we got 43, no, 70,000, we have 43,000 still to MDR, 26,007 to the Swanton Library, and then. For a total of 70,000, but then we have the final appropriations to pay. Let's see, we still have. Franklin County, which was government 12.5. And then we have our appropriations to, our appropriations are listed here for about another 15,000. And then we have. We've done capital reserve. So there's not gonna be. There'll be some left, but there won't be a lot. Because we still have payroll for everyone to finish for the next 2 months as well. But we should be pretty much in line.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
we
like-
usually have something left over at the end of the year, we always do.
I still believe in Santa Claus too.
Yeah.
Well, I'll talk to you after the meeting.
Franklin County tax, that's. We appropriated 67, I assume you got that number from them to start with, then you get a bill for 69.
Yeah, exactly, because they do a proposed budget at the beginning of the year. And then they finalize the number count and then they send us the bill, so that's why that's different.
And miscellaneous, now, I'm sure we approved this somewhere, but I don't
Oh,
remember.
yeah, you did.
Yeah.
So the miscellaneous takes into account. The 3 appraisals that were done in the 3 properties that went for FEMA, so that's $2,400. Then we had about, I would say, about $6,000 $7,000 worth of work over on the Fourth Street property for
Okay,
cleanup and all
alright,
that stuff.
Trying to recall.
Maybe more, I think
remember
it's
that.
closer to 8,000. And then the other thing is we did order like the flags, but we got reimbursed for the flags. So I mean, some of it's still in there because we spent the money.
And we'll get the money back to the FEMA properties.
Right.
We will get the money back for the
Right.
Fourth Street property, but it may not be this year. So we
And
we would
FEMA
incur the
properties probably
expense.
won't.
I just wanted, I knew we had approved it, we didn't, but I just.
Don't say find the money somewhere.
Yeah, fine.
But next, we go into budget season, we really need to increase that miscellaneous.
All right, any other questions on the general? Okay. You go over here.
Yep.
All right, we go on the highway.
I think probably the same thing here on highway, like resurfacing, that doesn't cover the grant we got to do the extra resurfacing.
Correct, so we should get 136,000 roughly back, which puts us back in the.
So what I did is on page 2, I did the offsets for like the grant we're gonna get and we got the truck, the 2 trucks in here.
Yeah.
But we had the money in savings though, so the true number item budget right now on the highway, we're like at 70%. Just so you have an idea exactly
Yeah.
where they're sitting.
But under. Road improvement. You're showing -92, we had a big carryover.
Right.
And that's what I grabbed this for,
149, right, it was 149.
149,
Right.
so
So
we're actually gonna have a nice balance there, but what I wanna be able to do is show that. When I get rid of the
when
budget.
I'll show it in there, I just didn't, I was gonna do it and I just didn't.
Yeah, because we are in good shape there.
We didn't use the road improvement money from the year before, so we didn't.
We carried it over, so we
149.
punch in, but all the bills have come in and it shows.
So when I do the adjustment, like I did for these here to show what we're actually at, that will be included in there.
Yeah.
Of what we didn't use, so
That has the blasting and the paving and
Yeah.
some of the other stuff, yes, so. We actually are in a positive there.
yeah, you are,
Okay, swamp beautification, we
I know,
allocated.
I shorted them $1,000, I'm gonna do the check when I do my appropriations. Cause it was 3,000, we raised it to 4, and my mind was just like, so yeah, so we owe them $1,000, so I will cut a check to them.
All right.
Wasn't trying to shorten through.
That was all I had.
And we do have the salt, we do have, I got salt bills in the mail today.
Yeah, they've delivered a lot
They
of salt.
delivered salt, and I also got the sand bills from Leach. No, rates, drop
Right,
sand
yeah.
off.
Yeah, we could, we definitely should go over our budget unless we have some kind of disaster thing.
No,
We're gonna be under.
we're gonna be
Yeah.
under,
It's
definitely.
gonna help set us up for next year, although we got a very expensive 35-foot wide culvert to do.
That's how wide that one is up on Boreal Hill.
Yeah.
You want budget money for that?
Oh, yeah, we're gonna figure out. We'll be talking about that in a couple
We ain't
months.
got that gonna carry over, do we?
No. No. Any other questions on highway?
Legal fees has to be in the.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there probably was some fee for Swan Hill too, because, or did we,
We actually
there was.
did get an opinion on something up there, yes. Alright, moving on to 6C. BRB members requested tablets on page 19.
The other library budget's in here too, if you want to, we'll just take a look at that.
yeah, we got that.
Oh, we did on our side.
Or something.
Oh,
I didn't even think about that, you see that?
their payroll on target too, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yep. And you did the same thing, all this is up to date,
Yeah, as of
Yeah.
November 4th.
Was everybody good with that?
Yes.
Alright.
except the old.
Oh, wait a minute, that one's gonna be hard burger for a few more meetings. Alright, now we're gonna move on to the BRB request for tablets. The package, like around $480 per.
So at the last DRB meeting, they have all brought it up again, and I said I would bring it to you again. they really want tablets to be able to go paperless so that they can send them everything. They can use them to research the bylaws digitally versus flipping through the books.
Are they gonna take the tablets home with them or?
These are ones that I discussed it with Peter. He gave me two different ones, this one or a lesser one, which was 280. His concern was with the 280 one, they wouldn't be able to open like Mylar, like it wouldn't be able to do what they wanted to do. And this one is a little more, but it comes with the keyboard and has the RAM space to do what they want.
Okay, my question would be that that's the only thing they can use it for.
Well, they can only use it, well, it depends on what we put on it. We put, and the other thing too is the email fight for everybody.
Yeah.
Peter, so if you decided to do it, Peter and I would set them up, their emails would be set up on them, I would change their emails from SS27 to their names. Set them up on there and then set up the program they need to open. So really, they would just have the internet. And I think it would be ideal, Brian, so that when he was in the sales, you had to sign something that said you would take care of it and you keep it in the personnel file, because I mean, it is.
Can they use it for personal use?
You can restrict.
You can restrict
Well,
that,
you can restrict it, but
I would think that they should be.
Let me tell you something, I've been on other boards where this has been implemented, pays for itself quickly.
I wouldn't have to bring them their DRB packets every month.
You can keep it, in between meetings, stuff can be sent out. When it comes time to send the package, all Christina has to do is go click, and it's gone. No more paper, no more mailing. I am wholeheartedly in support of this. And I think we should be looking at it.
I'm not saying,
Well, that was the question, do you wanna do it for the planning, the DR, like, how far do you wanna go with it?
Well, let's do it for the planning right now, is that the cost?
The DRB, DRB.
And there too, you don't know what the cost is gonna be yet. so
Well, this
sure.
is, well, if you look at this is a $770 tablet on sale for $480, so
And you need 5 of them.
well, we need at least 5 of them.
What's gonna be the cost of the software?
$2,500 at a minimum.
Then we're gonna have the support, the software support that usually goes
He
with
didn't
this.
said that, he didn't say anything about that.
Okay, we
Well,
want
if they're gonna open up documents, they're gonna need.
They're gonna have to have our Viper too.
yeah, so we wanna take a whole picture because usually the software support's about 10% of the cost.
Yeah.
And but it never goes away. But it's a good thing, I can't speak highly enough, let's do it. Somebody-
So my question is, do you wanna do it for anybody else while we're setting them up?
Let's get this set up, my feeling, let's get this set up, let's work our way through it, get all the bugs worked out. Take a look at the ongoing holding costs. Again, maintenance, software cost updates, because it's not gonna go away, it's gonna be a little more than you think. Let's work it out here and then expand it into the other boards as.
I really think you should look at it for this board,
And the
that
planning,
board, and the
So you'd
planning.
be looking at 15
Yeah.
tablets.
And figure out what the cost is gonna be, and if it, you know, it might be a appropriate use of our special. fund.
I agree, Earl, but I wanna start small, so we got our hands on
But
this.
you might not get that price.
Yeah,
Yeah, what I would like though is for it to come back with more information, you know, this is what you're asking too, I just switched, I had Windows 10. Windows 10 was going away on October 14th, so I had to get a new computer. And I upgraded, yeah, that's okay, until they go get an upgrade and some, anyway. So I updated, bought a laptop, paid around $600, but. Now I like using Microsoft Office, PowerPoint and Word, I've used it for years, and Excel, that's $150 a year. To maintain that before, you could get the CD loaded in and keep it for many years.
Oh, you gotta pay every year for Excel?
That's what a lot of that stuff is now.
Wow.
I got it, I wasn't one.
That's why I think we do some research, like you say, before we commit, other than we support
I think
and we haven't budgeted it for 2025 or 2026.
maybe what they're looking for here is support from the select board to move forward, giving us all.
With the
information.
DRB go, or do you wanna wait and?
You just heard DRB first, let's get our hand on this thing, you know, handle all the costs, and then we'll look at expanding it out. Maybe the next step would be the.
Well, are you proposing that we just go ahead and we're gonna do it for the DRB, no matter, cause we don't know the cost tonight and we don't know all the details.
I'm asking to come back with the final cost.
Okay, just for the DRB.
Well, it can be applied times 5 or times
Yeah.
15.
Yeah,
so we can-
okay,
I mean, bottom line, we need more information. is what I
Okay, so I'll
guess.
check with Peter and find out what else we need to go with this.
Yeah.
For
Yeah, I mean,
software.
that's gonna be a discussion, what are the members comfortable working with, you know?
The only question I have is how. They're gonna have to replace him every few years probably, yeah.
Should get at least 5 years out of them.
Oh, we say,
What they're gonna use them for?
exactly.
And they're not El Cheapos, so they shouldn't.
Yeah,
I remember having a pile of papers like this. That from different boards that I had on, and I went from this. To this.
Yeah.
Single. No mailing, no prep, no nothing.
You can see.
yeah, my desktop, that's like 12 years with that.
So
that I've
what's
been using.
that last lot longer than you think?
I've maintained that a computer is a one-person machine. When we had computers at home, we were replacing them every couple of years because the kids were on them and everything else. And then when I was working in the banking industry and we were assigned a computer. It lasted a long time. So, and sure enough, I bought my first laptop. It lasted about 6 years. Then I bought a commercial grade laptop and 2 years ago I replaced it. It was 14 years old.
Mine was 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, get more info, we talk about it at the next meeting. And make everybody report to
Yeah,
the.
that's right here.
Do you want me to ask the planning commission if they feel the need or just wait?
I would say wait.
Yeah, let's start out with a smaller nucleus here and then, well.
Okay. Community economic development update on smoke fund. Right now, we have, what the good guys, the branding update for the website and we're waiting to hear back. So we did have a meeting with EcoPexel. We went live with what we have and I don't know what you guys checked it out.
It looks really nice now, if you go on, you go right, maybe Christina can do it on. The big things, you don't have to look at my phone. But it looks very nice now, once you go onto our homepage, we made some adjustments. So you can now see the local business listings, as well as get townwide news, we moved its position on the webpage for user experience. And we also made sure to.
This picture.
Yeah, the drone photos came out lovely.
Yeah.
And this is our business directory,
And I've added more than sent stuff to me.
and I have some too for you.
Okay, so then you and I'll build them in.
I also have pictures to fill in the blank
Okay,
spots.
I can do that.
So everybody will have a picture, their information, way to connect.
Should we put the information for the food post on there? You get me my information.
I'm working on that.
Yeah, we got more work to do in that area, but we're still working on it, but it's just give you an idea.
And then if you
Oh, the
continue to go
bank.
down, Christina, we've put townwide news up a little bit further, so it's not right at the bottom of the page.
Yeah. We have added that too, and supposedly now you don't have
Please
to,
fix that so there's not double verification. Before, when you would subscribe, you'd click on it. You'd fill in your information and then it would send you an email that you had to verify. Well, a lot of times it would go to your spam or whatever, well, they've taken that second verification out.
so once you sign up, you're signed up for news.
They also fixed. If you go to the town. Where did they add all of the meetings and stuff? Right here, so if you go to town calendar, it lists everything that is, I've built in for meetings and stuff all together. You don't now have to go to each board to see when their meetings are.
Yeah.
They changed that. What else do you got?
Everybody, you wanna say something?
Me,
No,
This is different, resident, what was this called before?
it was just services.
Okay,
Church looked like a medieval castle.
yeah.
So
There'll be other pictures added in there when the branding part comes into play too.
yeah, that it might look a lot different. when you
Yeah,
click into
Yeah,
it.
the
It's
colors are a
lot
little
colorful.
different, yeah.
Can you scroll up? To the statue in the park? No,
down,
if anybody knows. a organization that cleans those, please let me know, I'm trying to find somebody. Clean that thing up, to me, it's not very nice the way it is right now.
Is it like a headstone material?
But it's soft granite, so somebody's really gonna know what they're doing.
Yeah, you need to find somebody and work with the village, cause it's theirs, but it should be cleaned up, that's right there on the head of our park.
Probably
For the
fall
water
under
control.
swamp.
Yeah, over there, with that,
Probably would fall under swamp motion if we can find somebody, but I don't know anybody, but I know there's been, I've heard the conversations where you gotta know what exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Specific way because of the
we
material.
don't want damage in, and
Yeah.
that's something maybe if there's any time during the week, if we could try making some phone calls, so.
I had someone that thought was gonna come out and look at it, but they said they couldn't get up here, it was too far for them, they were down in the rutland area.
I can certainly work on that.
Okay.
And then in addition to that, we were, and I haven't just gotten to it yet, we were looking at pricing out what a nice quality sign would be for the back of the LVRT board. That it was more like an expansion of the brochure with the map and the QR code, so people could just scan and get all of that information right on their phone to link them to the businesses. But really get an overall picture of what Swanton is, and I just haven't gotten to it yet.
And we may take Steve idea of businesses promoting being part of that on our own rail trail. To give more signage, that may be something that we're gonna have to take a look at from that standpoint, you know.
On the fitness trail,
Yeah,
that'd be great.
yeah, on the fitness trail, to direct people down to.
Every quarter mile, it's 1 mile long, every quarter mile.
Yeah, 2x1 could be $100 a sign. That's, I mean, it's easy money.
Yeah.
You know, it's right there.
It's great. Anything else, folks? The only other thing I wanna bring up is we're having this hearing next Tuesday, and I don't see it on the website. Or next Wednesday,
It's on there as a meeting.
but it should be that, these type of things, and I don't know how it's gonna end up when we get done, but it should, yeah, it's stuck there. But it should be something that's highlighted on the front page,
Maybe create a news article about it.
maybe a news alert thing.
It's in the park.
I know it's in the park, but you know, people are going on the website, we want them to use the website. And you know, you've got townwide news, I think it should be right there.
That one's certainly worthy of it, so.
Yeah, that's not a routine, it's not a routine.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
The only other thing I had, the last meeting you discussed adding the website to the side underneath the logo on the trucks. And on the back, the QR code and the new branding. And I do have a quote from 1220. I spoke to Kevin and Jeff connected with us with a guy that they got it from the last time for Pat's new truck. For pennies compared to what they charge, so I will have both of those for your next meeting.
Okay, something to actually look at and a price.
Yeah, I have the price now and he tells me that's triple what you should be paying. So we shall see.
Okay, excellent. Next is policy review, and I don't know if anyone is actually in prep for this. Me and Nick, there you go. Okay, good. I read it. I only have two things. One, we're not following our policy when it comes to reviewing personnel. And number two, it never got signed by the select board. Explain, the last page is where it's.
Well, the problem is there's so many copies of it.
Oh, I
think
see.
they didn't put a signed copy in your mind.
Is this the last one that got approved?
This is the last one date was, yes. It's 2016. But maybe I didn't put a signed copy in your mind. I could look.
You know, I mean, most of the stuff is kind of standard, when it's right, it's sexual harassment and all that stuff, and no hours, who's eligible, and sick leave, and all. I didn't see any really major issues with it, but it does say that all elected officials, and appointed to the select board evaluates the town clerk, town administrator, road commissioner, zone administrator.
Yeah, we done the evaluation.
And that's the one we write, and the other, like Brian is supposed to bring evaluations of the other people.
Just
Like,
Just for,
well,
you know,
just Christina, who does the highway department, that is
the road foreman does
the.
the guys, the road commissioner, I would
The
assume.
road commissioner should, but I don't know if it necessarily, does it really say that, you know?
No, What's missing, I think, is we don't have a wiring diagram. And then the wiring, you know, we refer to a wiring diagram,
Who reports to?
who reports to who. And that's who should
Wow.
be doing,
That's sort of like that, I'm talking about
that's,
evaluation.
that would be part of this.
That's
Part of it is.
Yeah.
The highway foreman has the 3 road crew. And he's responsible for writing their evaluation. And then is it the road commissioner or is it the select board who should be doing the road foreman? You know, that's something we don't have it clear.
Yeah.
And it's been an issue in years past, sometimes they get done, sometimes they don't. We should have them on a regular calendar of when we wanna see the drafts and. Be done with them.
Well, that's the only change I would see.
I have one question, I think you raised a good point, maybe you could make a corporate chart or the municipal chart, you know. And then we can start with that, and, because we do need to know what the pecking order is here.
Yeah.
So that would be useful, and then maybe what we could do tonight is make a suggestion that we get these evaluations completed by year end, maybe. Because we're going to be coming up for salary reviews, I'm guessing.
That does say that here before salary review.
So 60 days, that's in 60 days, but can you get these evaluations done in 60 days?
Now, we're gonna get back to the question, we went through this before, you brought in. Some suggested ones to use and
Yeah.
we never finalized it.
No.
We haven't even finalized what it is we're gonna evaluate people on. We haven't got this down to science.
Format that we had.
Wasn't really made to make people buy.
Yeah.
After we did.
We've had several formats that I've thrown out, but we haven't formalized it.
Yeah, we've gone over several different things, and then there's ones the village used, you know, just for guidelines to talk about.
Let's keep it simple though.
Yeah, I'd like to see, some of them are way longer, you know, crazy.
It shouldn't be more than 2 pages, so, you know.
Yeah, but that's one thing I think we as a board should finalize. If I'm gonna write one, let's say I have to write Kevin as the commissioner, I don't, or however we wanna do it. We should say, here's the form we wanna use.
So good, over in the manual, it says, the positions that are being evaluated.
What pages are on, 10?
Yeah, well, yeah, and 10.
Pretty basic one that allows for.
Yeah.
Some conversation to take place.
Yeah, this is very basic, I think that's what we look.
See this before?
Yeah.
No, we didn't adopt,
But we did adopt it.
yeah, no, to me, it should be part of the policy, it should be an appendix to the policy, this is. Right, this would be what is the format.
Right, so that Christina just brings up another thing, read it again, please.
It says salary, overall wages and salary review shall be conducted based on merit, but you don't do merit raises.
No,
Everybody
you
gets
don't.
the same raise.
I don't say that.
Good, bad, or different.
Oh, yeah, well, good. All the employees are good.
We've done that, but we have adjusted.
Yeah, it's like that. But,
Yes, we did, we adjusted Christina, so.
Christina, yeah, based on that.
Based on merit,
That was merit, but, right, but now the positions that are gonna be reviewed. That was
Select board also decides ratings for town clerks.
It's not the raises, and evaluate. What positions are being evaluated?
Oh,
Doesn't say.
It is a town clerk.
This town clerk, assistant town clerk, all elected
I don't
officials.
think we- Yeah, so it's down, but you can't evaluate an elected official.
No,
okay, so that should be taken out of there.
No, but wouldn't the town clerk evaluate the assistant town clerk?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
That she's hired.
So I think just the language needs to be shored up in that specific space.
Yeah.
even though in Brian, I'm sure you're aware of this, there are some towns that have some issue with town clerk.
there are.
Not all, we love ours.
I know, that's not a problem, but, so maybe that's why that's in there.
Right, but you can't do it. Well, but you can't do it.
You can't do it.
They're elected
No,
people.
I agree with you, we can't do anything because he is an elected official.
I'm not the only one.
and then
Listers are the same way.
Right, but let's do the same.
the holidays need to be added, Juneteenth needs to be added,
I also think,
and New Year's Eve.
Benefit out of that.
No, we
We
don't.
don't get that
Yeah,
one.
that's-
We can add it.
No, no.
I think they should.
I guess maybe to move this on, this is a good start. If we're gonna get into merit evaluations, that's a whole different animal.
Yeah, get a draw matrix.
Yeah, we wanna be well.
We don't have a pay scale.
Yeah, and you wanna be ready for some blowback on that.
Well,
We're gonna
Steve,
start simple, do this, and then we can work towards a merit evaluation.
do you wanna go with that for this year, Steve?
Yeah.
And try to do something by at least January?
Make this as an exhibit to our policy.
And yeah, make the changes, take the town clerk out of there.
Correct that paragraph and get us a wiring diagram, so we can approve it next month, so
Yeah.
people know who's gonna write for who.
We can accept this tonight, or we can wait and do it next month, or whatever.
We'll do it at the next meeting when we have the wiring diagram.
Start.
Yeah, the other thing,
That's mine, can we not
Yeah.
use that?
the other thing,
We should.
You should have it here, yes.
Make it back.
for me,
Yeah,
you shouldn't do an evaluation, just, you should do the formal one. At the end of the year.
Yep.
We should require by June, that there's a sit down between. The employee and the evaluator. And then just. You know, basically a draft of that, so that it gives the employee a chance to, of course, to change. Instead of getting shocked at the end of the year, if someone says,
So you give them, that's not, we don't wanna use that as a disciplinary thing at this point. I wanna use it as an evaluation of their performance. Disciplinary is a whole different.
I'm not saying discipline, I'm just saying, if you have an employee you think that is. Coming up short, that's where you write on there, that there's some things that need to be corrected.
Then you give them their objectives and a timetable.
Right, so at the end of the year, it's not a shock when all of a sudden you say, you know, to me, it's,
So I think you're right.
it doesn't have to.
The only other thing is, under state agencies, I probably,
This is what.
or just probably check to see if these numbers are still working.
Should be 25.
I doubt they'll change.
Okay.
There's-
Five, but lumens, but if it.
I doubt they change, but you know.
okay, is that gonna be ready for our next meeting?
Well, the flow chart.
The flow chart, we'll adopt, create that form, we'll just create it so we can have it electronically and work it. And any other,
21 weeks.
we need a word in there too, yeah, okay.
The other things that I have on mine, just making sure that the language is current with the Vermont Parental and Family Leave Act, which has been updated in 2023 and 2025, just making sure that we have the right language in there. Because there's definitely some state statute, so. I also think we need to make sure that we have appropriate language in our technology section. Which is kind of out of date considering technology has advanced so much since 2016.
Data, technologies on privacy.
Okay, that's what I did.
Especially if we're gonna give out tablets and.
It says valuable town assets, so. Do we add devices to that?
Yeah. We're gonna consider that,
What's that from, back equipment materials within the town buildings, materials, equipment, including computer server, software, IDs, non-asset. Used for the town purpose alone, equipment materials and buildings should not be used for. Employees, elected, appointed officials, private individuals, personal gain, town, Swanton employees may not. Operate use the Swanton town purchase lease software contrary to the provision of town contracts.
Yeah, I was just a little confused on that, but I probably didn't understand it. I know that Kevin, we're giving him a phone now.
Yeah.
He can use that for his personal use when he's home, can't he?
It's using it for both.
You give them a
Yeah.
stipend, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's a stipend, it's not a separate device.
that way he doesn't have to carry two,
Right.
right?
He gets a certain amount of money to pay his bill. Makes who wants to.
So I don't know if that's really reflected in here. Right, cause it sounds to me like this is just town owned phones. But I might be wrong.
Well, and he owns the phone. And we're giving him a stipend, we don't own the phone and letting him use it, he owns his phone and we're giving him.
Set up,
He's set up and we're giving him some money
His phone
for
number, he said it.
his because.
so if the town bought the phone, they wouldn't be able to use it for their own personal use, it would just be the town business.
Right.
He bought his own phone,
Right.
but he's using it for both, okay,
The one thing I wanna clarify in here too, is in the federal government, we had it. Personal gain and personal use are two different things.
Right.
Yes.
Personal gain is when you're making money off it.
Right.
And, you know, if someone has these tablets, there might be a time that they're gonna be on, you know, Google. You know, and we're not gonna be able to manage that, but that's not personal gain, but it's, if they're trying to make money using town assets. And there's something wrong with that, and then that's why it says personal gain versus
Yeah.
personal use.
But on the other hand, they might be looking at an application or a request. And see zoning board of adjustment, and they go to Google for information. That's perfectly
Yeah.
legitimate.
That would be part of their,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what, you know, what, I don't mean to kill this thing and keep beating on it, but we will have some recommended restrictions of use on these tablets if we do give them out.
Well, that's why I think that this language just could be cleaned up a little bit to
Yeah.
reflect if we are gonna start buying tablets for folks, then.
And I don't think that they're gonna abuse them, but we probably gonna have it.
I don't think anything is using it now either, I'm just making sure the language is.
it's a. What one person thinks is abuse or the wrong use of it versus another, because I see where. Franklin Northwest Schools, whatever, people are using that emails on products they sell.
Like,
And using their email.
They're using their official school email. On products they're selling,
oh,
you know,
that's not right.
that's what I know, but see, someone, apparently some think it's okay and no one's questioned it, I saw that the other day, but that's why. We can clear, clean that up a bit and.
you have some proposed language, Nicole, to clean that up.
I could look at it more, I didn't prepare that, cause I wasn't,
Right.
just wanted to make sure everybody was on board, but I'm
Cause
certainly.
I don't know what the language would be, do you?
No, not specific, I just have to spend more time, but if we're getting tablets, we should
Yeah,
take a look and clean that up a bit.
yeah, and that could pertain to the phones and everything else.
Whatever it is today, it's gonna be different a year from now, but we get a good start.
So, if people have any thoughts on that section, send it in to Christina and then we'll look at it again.
Hopefully we must shift pages, so it's in pages.
Okay,
Yeah, just small things, not a typo and might have corrected it and page 26, font spelled wrong. And other than that, a there just needs to be a space on page 31, there just needs to be a space between Swanton properties. And then after that, I think it's
Where
correct,
is that?
and that's on other areas.
I think you just wanted to show us you read the whole thing.
Yeah.
You did the homework.
I didn't do
Good
that,
Well,
I just give you something.
So when we get these things done, then we can approve it and then we'll get one that's signed.
alright,
So what I'll do,
go ahead, no,
I'll do the changes and highlight it in yellow and send it to you.
yes. Thank you. Something else, folks. Any other necessary business, got thinking about our meeting next week, and I think after looking at some of the comments on the community page, it could be quite interesting. Is that? Well. Again, a lot of those won't show, for the actual meeting, but. George, I think I'm out of talking.
Is it the one you emailed earlier?
Yeah, it just added that one section, but. And this should have had a ghost on here saying draft, cause I want you folks to take a look. I took what Brian had that he read at the other meeting about from the state. And then the discussion we had with the trustees, and I tried to put it all on one paper for talking points. And if you got something else you think we should add, one thing I am gonna add is impact to a Swanton resident. You go out and eat just once a month. And you don't buy a lot of booze and you only spend $100, it's a $1 increase.
Yeah.
That you're gonna see as far as what you expend that month, and if you only go to the hardware store. and buy $50 worth of stuff every couple months. So it's 50 cents, but, you know, people are like another tax and, you know, how corrupt we are and everything else, and it's like, no, let's talk about what is the actual impact of this
I think
already.
that's all very useful. I've talked, people come up to me, nobody has told me yet that they're against it. They all say, oh, we understand it. And we should look at it this way, it's imported money,
Oh, yeah.
it's money from outside the community. I mean, that's the best capital you get, it's somebody else's.
We need to, I think you probably can get it from, I think it's Ludlow. And I was Googling this damn stuff. You're and
You were?
they had, when they went for their bowl, they had it set up like this. Average medium income, it's like 44,000. And I don't know where they got this next number, amount of local spending that would fall under the local sales tax. And that was only like 10% of their total gross income. I don't know where they got this number, but that's what I was talking in the last meeting, is does anybody got any idea how what it is? But in some ways it makes sense because, you know, you don't get taxed for food, you don't get taxed on clothes, so. You know, it's only what you're gonna buy in the store, so maybe that 10% of that gross income is a sound number. So that's basically what it would create, would cost somebody, so you're down to 4,400 at 1%, what's that, $44 something a year. Now, if we're gonna generate that much income off in here, you're saying right now, like, the town would end up with 255,000. What would the tax rate have to go up to generate that kind of income?
How much?
You know, would it be 5 cents, we have to raise it 255,000. That's coming out of the local, yeah, if we had to raise that strictly from property taxes. How many cents would that be?
That would be under, that'd be like 25% of your general budget, right? Because our general budget's less than a million.
Because that's what you could explain to people and say, hey, look, cause I'm sure it's gonna be quite a bit higher on a taxpayer with a $250,000 home, or let's use 300 to be realistic. They would probably pay more than they would with a local action tax in place.
I think that's a good point, though. I mean, the more we can provide, I think your point is really well taken. It'll be minuscule.
Yeah,
It might be, you know, 25 cents a unit or something like that, but it's good to have it.
yeah. Yeah, it would be,
No,
so
what's this question?
how much does the tax rate have to go up to reach 255,000?
Depends on-
They said our grant,
But that's gonna be real hard to explain because some households have 4 people in.
but it's,
To me, if
only no difference to me, but.
no, I'm just trying to.
The question is, I guess I'm just thinking, what you're thinking with the 250,000, well, our tax rate would have to go up to raise that amount of money. How's that, what does that 1% have to do with that?
It's people, it's what we can get, I mean, actually, because the money's, a fair amount of that money is coming from outside of.
Right.
This is gonna show. That we can raise more money, that 255,000 cheaper this way. Even though local people have to pay the 1%
Right.
tax too, than it would if we had to raise it strictly off the grand list tax rate.
Okay,
Pretty simple.
okay, I got it. So, you know.
So then you
I
take
gotta go
the money with a
somewhere
$300,000 home, how much would they be paying compared to the local tax? Option?
How many people live in the home?
Well, we got everybody, how many, 4,000, whatever it is.
No, how many in that particular home, because that particular home is gonna generate X number of dollars. But if it's 5 people, then you gotta divide that.
We're doing it
by
off.
5. If it's someone who owns a home by themselves, that's where it gets complicated.
I know it gets a little complicated, but I said the average medium income is 44,000 in that town. So whatever it is in Swanton, it's gonna, you know, everybody's gonna pay that 10% of their gross. I don't know where they came up with that. Now they figured it was 10% of the gross would be paid on, would be buying, well, local income tax, I mean, not income tax, but sales tax.
Ludlow was a ski town, so that Trevor Rooms and Meals portion is
Oh, yeah, but the average, I'm going by the average median income.
But, yeah, and that's. That's great, they use that and maybe they sold it that way, to me, you sell it to the individual of how much do you spend. Buying in Swanton right now. You go to the hardware store all year, you spend less than $2,000. Then that's only $20. You spend how much on meals?
Well, same thing I'm saying, they're saying 10% of the growth, but that's spread local.
Yeah, that's that number,
The
just a wag on their price.
one thing is however many people are there.
What's that?
However many people are there on the evening, you just ask them formally. How many in this room in the past month have gone to Walmart in St. Albans?
Yeah.
How many have gone to Burlington to eat out or South Burlington?
I mean, people have shopped on Amazon.
3.037.
I'm not.
0.0337. So 3 cents per thousand.
They're paying
$3,000 home.
For $250,000 to raise that based on our grand list,
would
it have to
3 cents.
be 3.0337 per thousand.
Okay, so 3 cents.
3 cents.
So on a $300,000 home, what's that, $90 or, yeah, $90.
You'd have to spend $9,000 a year. No,
Oh, yeah.
nine.
Or 900, one or the other, 90 or 95.
To make up how much money?
250.
Right, I know it's
Yeah, but
0.03.
you got the tax rate, yeah.
Right, so,
So if you had a $300,000 house, your
Yeah.
property, how much would that raise your tax at 3 cents?
okay, go ahead. $900.
It's a lot.
All right,
I don't think you can pay $900 in 1% tax.
So it's three, if it's a $300,000 home, so it's gonna be
It'll be
3,000
yeah.
times point
go
oh,
back to your decimal.
Yeah.
Point oh three,
0.03, thank you.
Yeah.
that's too much, you get the decimal too
So it's
close.
90.
I got one too many, $90.
Yeah.
I think
But
that's
over
a
there.
good point, but Brian just made a thing to, we say, if you shop, if you shop in Swanton, what it costs you, but. Nobody bats an eye when they go to Walmart. In the city, the town of St. Albans is the one that gets the money, they don't even think about it.
No, I know,
And think of another way that it should be looked at too, is I think we should look at this as a community savings account. Similar to a business, I mean, anybody that owns their own business and has to operate it. If you can set money aside, and when you need to make a capital improvement or a capital purchase, and you've got that money there. Your cash flow is in better shape, way better shape than having to make this all of a sudden start making these payments plus the principal and interest. You know, so in this situation, it's the same thing, is we can utilize that money for these things, so it's gonna stabilize that tax rate.
A businessman asked me, he told me he was all for it. And he said, I think it's a great idea. He said, how will I enter that in my register? And I couldn't give him the answer for us, he said, he just wanna know if it's gonna make another entry. So if he keys in 6%, how are we gonna key in 7?
Well, it depends what the register is set up.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's electronic. And it automatically calculates it, I've seen it both ways.
Yeah.
Where it's separate on the slip, but also it's a 7% sales tax and some.
He
He was just concerned about the amount of time,
Yeah.
extra time was important.
and I see. Business like Bees on Broadway where they do most of the transactions right across the shelf, pretty
Yeah.
straightforward. Swamp lumber. Delivering here,
Oh, sure.
delivering there, each time we've got to. Decide which way to put that on the tax, so for some of the ones. It's gonna be more painful,
And I wonder how many really pay attention to that.
right?
Well, I wonder
They
that.
wouldn't know how they do it in St. Albans.
Well, I know, they have to do it in those places,
I thought it was interesting, look at the information you gave us, the state gets almost $6. From each business when they submit their paperwork, that's their fee, so I don't even know yet how to calculate that, is it 40 businesses times 12 times a year, people submit that? So that has to come off that 75%.
Yeah.
There, and then. The other thing when you mentioned it is they get 25% to help them pay their pilot.
That is,
That's a great,
All that.
it's like, wait a minute, yeah, we're gonna create this program to help you out, but we're gonna use it to help us out.
Charge us.
as they did in their, it was lower, that was 30%.
Yep.
So, lowered that.
I think the more questions, the better, it's good stuff.
Yeah, but if you have stuff you want me to add to that, fine, I just, I think the village needs to come in and be pretty much on the same page as we are as well.
I do too. The other thing is. I think people could perceive this as being a discretionary account that we could do what we want with it.
No,
No,
It is,
you,
I couldn't really pin that down on Google.
what, I would suggest.
Brandon.
And I will check the law, but I would suggest that you would put it in a restricted for capital improvement or what's.
well, that's a great motion then.
Right, and capital improvements, repairs, and restrict it, that's it.
It should be right in our line item for voting.
Yeah.
Local option tax to be used for capital expenditures. Navigate that some.
But I would take it a step further, and I think it might help our case. And we can't spend that money on those things without voter
No,
approval.
there, no.
You don't have to have the record, but
Let me finish, okay, you've got the bottom line.
Yeah.
Okay, you've got the bottom line. And you're going to repair something. Capital that fits into capital improvement, you can take the money out. And do it. Cause you've got the money, it's being used for that purpose. Now, if you say you wanna replace the Berry Road culvert. And pay for it for the next 4 years with the receipts received under local option tax. That you would have to have that as a budget item in the warrant.
Or if you borrow money and use the proceeds from the LOG to make the payments.
Yeah.
That's.
So that, but if you've got a pot of money.
Just taking the money
It's
right.
being used for that purpose, so what it's intended for, we would be all right with.
Well. Okay,
Yeah, because otherwise, if something came up, you wanted to use it, you'd have to have a meeting.
let's have a vote.
well, you could, I know what you're saying, and I thought about that too, but we could actually, in an emergency, we can borrow money. We have a disaster, and then we go before the voters and ask them if we, to pay this off, which I'm sure they agree to, because. If we had it there, I just wanna give people more control over it, so they can feel more comfortable with that money is gonna be, because I can see. If we've got that up to $500,000, if somebody, a board decided they wanted to do something, build something. That the rest of the community thought was, wasn't needed or didn't want or didn't support, what's gonna stop us?
Well, I'm gonna say you're not gonna build much for $500,000.
Well, you can build enough to get in trouble.
Well, and you're elected, so if you did what they didn't want, they wouldn't re-elect you,
Yeah, but after it's built, what good is that?
but they're electing you.
It's just a point.
Electing you to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I
we're,
know a lot of people gonna like to do the right thing, that doesn't mean they get it.
Alright, anything else regarding that? Okay. Next month, when we have the rec board here, wanted to do the maintenance and upkeep the LVR we talked about earlier. Public comment, anybody
Bob,
ready to go home? Upcoming events,
Wednesday, November 5th, 2025 at 12 noon will be a special select board meeting site visit on Jerry Mill Lane. Saturday, November 8th, 2025 at 9 AM, flags for vets set up at 9 AM and here at Academy Street. Monday, November 10th, 2025 at 5 PM will be a planning commission meeting at the town offices. Tuesday, November 11th, 2025 is the Veterans Day holiday. Offices and operations will be closed. Wednesday, November 12th, 2025 will be a public hearing for the local option tax at 7 PM at the Swanton Village Municipal Complex. Tuesday, November 18th, 2025 will be a regular select board meeting at 6 PM here at the town offices. Thursday, November 20th, 2025 will be a DRB meeting at 6 PM here at the town offices.
okay, thank you, executive session for personnel, and the temple.
Move it. I move that we enter executive section for the select board to receive confidential contract personnel legal or real estate information for which the premature disclosure of it to the general public would clearly place the select board and others at a substantial disadvantage.
Here's a second.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, any discussion? Here none, all fair say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved.
I move that based on our just made findings, that the premature disclosure would place the select board and others at a substantial disadvantage. We enter executive session.
Here's a second.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thanks, sir.
I make a motion to exit executive session at 8:08 P.M.
I second it.
Motion made, seconded, exit. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. In executive session, we discussed the personnel issue and we gave guidance to our town administrator for actions that needed to be taken. Anything else, folks?
I moved it, your.
I'll second.
Motion made, second to adjourn, all those favors say aye. Opposed, so moved.